Hey, I'm Charlie Thompson, and welcome to the How to Use Google Earth video. In this video, we're going to go over how to set up the settings in Google Earth. You're going to need to change some settings in order to get the right answers for this lab. We'll go over how to turn on and off the grid lines, the latitude, longitude grid lines. We'll go over how to change the units from metric to feet and back. We'll go over how to find latitude, longitude, and the elevation under the cursor, how to use the search function, how to navigate, and you're going to want to use a mouse for that, and finally, how to get help. So to use Google Earth, you're going to want to use a mouse. Even a $5 gas station mouse will work great. It'll be way easier for you than trying to use the trackpad. You're also going to want a screen larger than your phone. To see the details, the latitude, the longitude, the elevations, all that good stuff, you're really going to want a screen bigger than your phone. So to launch Google Earth for lab, it's going to be really easy. You'll just click on the link in the assignment. So for every assignment that we'll be using Google Earth, there is a link within the assignment. If you click on the link, it'll automatically launch Google Earth and automatically load the project with all the information, all the place marks, all the information you need to do the lab. You can also just go to earth.google.com. That'll launch Google Earth, but it won't necessarily load the project. So for this semester, for using Google Earth for an assignment, just use the link in the assignment. When you're using Google Earth, it's going to be giving you information in the lower right-hand corner. It's going to tell you the latitude and longitude directly under your cursor. It's going to show the elevation or the distance above sea level of the ground surface. Again, right under your cursor. So if you move your cursor, the latitude and the longitude and the elevation will change. Don't be alarmed, it's working correctly. Google Earth will also tell you the altitude of the virtual camera, and that's just telling you Earth would look like this if you were this far above the surface. I'm never going to ask you that. I'm never going to ask you the altitude of the camera. I'm just going to ask you the elevation of the ground under the cursor. There's a bunch of shortcuts in Google Earth. You can get those shortcuts by pressing the question mark key, and that'll pop up a window with this information. I think the most useful reset the view is the R key. So once we're in Google Earth, I'll explain and show you what I'm talking about. But sometimes you can get tilted and rotated, and your view is confusing and you don't know what you're looking at. But if you press the R key, it'll reset the tilt, it'll reset the rotation, so that you're looking north will be at the top and you'll be looking straight down at the feature. Okay, this is the homepage for our class. I'm going to recommend for every week you just go to modules. Well, when you start, you should start with the Start Here and go through the Start Here module. But after that, I'd go to modules. And for every module, there's a Start Here page. Start with that because you can't see the next page until you see the first page. So to see the second page, you got to look at the first. When you look at the second page, it'll unlock the third, and so on and so on. You can't just go right to the assignment. You need to at least look at all of the pages that have hopefully helpful information, like the handout that you should try to print out and keep with you. It's got step-by-step information on how to do the different problems for that lab, along with practice problems and the answers and the steps shown, so you understand not just what, but why you're doing what you're doing. So for this lab, I'm just going to click on the lab, go into preview mode so that it's looking the same as it would look for you. In each lab assignment, you can do the labs more than once to get a better score. And I put important information. If it's really important, I'll put it in highlighted and make it bold. Like for this, you need to format your example exactly like the example in the question. Canvas will mark your question wrong. So make sure you read everything. It's super important. Like here, super important. The settings button has moved. It's now in the right-hand corner. Make sure you go into settings and make sure that the units are feet and miles. The latitude, longitude is set to decimal. We'll do that in just a second. Here is the link to Google Earth. So we're going to click on that. It'll automatically launch Google Earth. And yeah, so if you get all wonky, you can press the R key. That'll reset north at the top, it'll reset the tilt. And the first thing I'm going to do is go into the settings. And we're going to go down to display settings. I'm going to bump mine up to the highest quality because I've got enough RAM that I can do that. If you have a slower computer, you might want to set it to fastest. That could help. That's it for display settings. We're going to go down to formats and units. The units should be imperial, feet and miles for this lab. I will always let you know if you need to change that before the lab. And then last, latitude, longitude. We don't want degrees, minutes, seconds. That's a much older way of giving latitude and longitude. Doesn't really work well with computers. We're going to switch that to decimal. And we're done. So we can click done. That takes care of the settings. And now you can see, if I zoom in to ARC, well, let me zoom back out. I got too excited there. So right now, it's showing a 10-degree grid. This is a line. This is the 30th parallel north, 40th, 50 degrees north, 60 degrees north. Same thing with longitude. What are we looking at? 100, 110, 120 degrees west, 130, 140. So these grid lines are every 10 degrees. As we zoom in, it'll dynamically update. Now we've got every 5 degrees. Now we've got every 1 degree. If we keep zooming in, it'll go to a half degree. If we keep zooming in, it'll go to a 1/10 of a degree. And so on as you keep zooming in. So if we zoom into the ARC football field, I zoom out just a little bit. So you can see latitude is 38.6 degrees north, the longitude 121.3 degrees west. Those are repeated. Those are shown down here in the lower right-hand corner. And the elevation of the ARC football field looks like it's 80 feet above sea level. If I move the cursor, you can see that the elevation, latitude, and longitude change. So here you've got the contents. These are place marks. If you double click, it will zoom you to that place mark. Zoop. Good stuff. Let's go back to American Art College. Double click on that. Plopping us into the intersection. That takes care of how to set up the settings. Shift and mouse will tilt. Shift, click will also let you rotate. This is what I was referring to. Like you can really get all turned around. But then if you press the R key, it will reset so that north is at the top and it resets the tilt. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoy the lab. If you have any questions, please email me. I've given you my cell phone. You can email me, you can call me, you can text me, do whatever works best for you. But if you have any questions, 99% of the time, 5 minutes at a time on the phone will answer all your questions and you can get on with the assignment and get on with your life. That's it. I hope you have a good week and enjoy the lab.